Hey, welcome to Ask a Montessorian. I'm Christina. Thank you for joining me here today. Let's see, today is Wednesday. I believe it's the 6th already of September. My daughter just had a birthday on the 4th and she's 25 years old, a quarter of a century. I'm just kind of like, wow, the time flies. Anyhow, I wanted to try something with you guys here today that I've never done before. I've attempted to do it without recording it, so I've had a little bit of practice, but I haven't recorded it yet. So I'm excited to do this with you guys today. I'm going to put my makeup on and I'm going to show you some tips that I've learned. And I'm also going to talk to you while I'm putting my makeup on about preparing yourselves if you're expecting a child or if your child is an infant. So if you have any friends who are having children, this could be really helpful. Or if you're planning to have children soon, this video will, this video you might find helpful. If you do find it helpful, please be sure to comment. And like Greg likes to remind me, please click like and subscribe if you do enjoy this video. And please let me know if there are any videos that you would like me to create for you that are affiliated with Montessori. I'm trained through the Association of Montessori International for 3 to 6 year olds and 6 to 12 year olds. And I have pretty extensive experience in the classrooms for ages 18 months all the way up through 15 years old. My parents had schools for going on 10 years, and they had toddler programs through 8th grade, and then I worked as a certified floater for a couple of AMI affiliated schools that were toddlers all the way through 15 years. So please let me know if you have any questions about Montessori. I'd be happy to answer them. And without further ado, let's do makeup. One of my girlfriends, her name is Andrea, she's wonderful. She said I should not leave the house, that I need to get in touch with my feminine side. And she encouraged me to wear mascara and lip gloss before I leave the house. She's like, every time you leave the house, put on some mascara and lip gloss. It was so cute. So she wears a full face every time she goes anywhere. She's very beautiful. And so anyways, shout out to Andrea. I love you, honey. I have 2 different kinds of mascara that I've been wearing recently. One of them is, it's called the C2S Booster XL. It's by Lancome. And this is white. They call it a base mascara, and it makes my other mascara stand out more, and the brush kind of separates the lashes. It's interesting, but I'm going to show you a trick that I learned on YouTube. And then the mascara that I've had the best experience with, that I got from my friend Liza. Shout out to Liza. Thank you, Liza. She's a Montessorian as well. I love you and hope you're doing well. This is called Length Matters. It's a buildable lengthening mascara by Julep, and it looks like this. And Julep is a brand that Liza gets in the mail in a box. I believe she has a subscription, or she used to have a subscription to it. And I don't know that much about the company. Maybe you can comment, Liza, if you're interested, and share some information for us. But I know that it's a subscription service and it comes in a box, and I think it's all natural products or something to that effect. I like Tarte. I usually use Tarte a lot, and so lately I've been expanding my horizons, and I have a Bare Minerals strength and length one. I don't like this one as much as I like the Julep one, though. So, I'll show you how I do my mascara. I'm going to start with the base, and then I push into the lashes and I twist up. Push in and my lashes kind of catch the wand, and then I twist up, push in and twist up like that, and then just kind of push it about. It's kind of like lotion. It goes away, it just blends in, which is nice. And I do not have one of those little eyelash curlers, but I've seen pretty good results with those. I keep a very small makeup bag in my purse, and the eyelash curler does not fit inside of it. There we go. And then I do the same thing to this one. Alright, so for those of you thinking about having a baby, if you have an infant, if you know someone who's pregnant or has an infant, we're going to start with, remind me what this is called. I know I learned about it when I was in school and we were doing poetry, and I can't remember what it's called, but I don't think it's anagram. But we're going to start with the word apple, so all of you can remember these tips for when you are ready to have a baby, or if you have an infant at home. And the first letter A stands for ask for help. This might seem like common sense, but I was raised by a man who's in the military, and asking for help was not something that he did very often. Therefore, I did not do it very often, because your children usually model themselves after what you do, not what you tell them to do. He encouraged me to ask for help, but I've always been really, really independent. And so, anyhow, the first suggestion I have for you is to ask for help. You want to build a village. We have MOPS, Moms of Preschoolers, here in Prescott, and then in Flagstaff they have Moms of Preschoolers, and they have Moms Next. And the MOPS group here in Prescott unfortunately doesn't have Moms Next yet, but there are lots of resources with the internet where you can get the help that you need. And you would be surprised at how many people would love to help you. Some people are afraid to ask for help because they have limiting beliefs, and your imagination is stronger than you realize. So I highly recommend that you reach out for help from family, from friends, even from strangers, because it takes a lot of effort the first, I don't know, 2 to 6 months, give or take. It's, case by case basis, but it's a lot of work. You're going to need help. And then we have P. P stands for plan ahead. So when you're pregnant, read as much as you can about your infant. And when your infant's napping, try and read as much as you can. One of my favorite books that I recommend to everybody all the time, that helped me immensely with Greg, he's 11 now, but when he was an infant, it's hard to see the eyelashes in the video, so I'm struggling a little bit, but I'm trying to do it by touch. Basically just push it into the wand and then turn it up. So when Greg was an infant, I found and read Dr. Montanero's book, Silvana Montanero. She was the woman who was chosen by Maria Montessori herself for the 0 to 3 training. And she has a book called Understanding the Human Being, the First 3 Years of Life. Very good book. And so I used that one. And it has a lot of helpful information in it that I'm basing a lot of these tips on. So as a reference, please feel free to check it out. You can get it on Open Library too. There's a free source library online called Open Library, and they have a copy. Otherwise, it's pretty challenging to find. So plan ahead. Do your research and find as many resources as you can to help you. If you want to bottle feed, if you want to breastfeed, if you want the baby to sleep in the bed with you, if you want the baby to sleep in a crib, which in Montessori we discourage. We usually do a floor bed with a large mirror in the background. But do your research, and you'll find yourself making decisions. Have confidence in those decisions. We learned something when I was in ASU studying global business, and that's a term called sunk cost. So once you've already made your decision and things are falling into place, it's a sunk cost. Regret doesn't really do much. You just want to learn from your mistakes and keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. So plan ahead. And then the other P, we're working with the word apple. The other P is prepare your environment. So I'm going to use this mirror because it's just a little bit easier. See, hopefully, let me know if you guys can see it. I think you guys can see it. So I do the outside and then I color it in and then I add lip gloss. It's pretty simple. I did a modeling shoot when I was in high school, and she drew lips on me with the pencil. I don't like to do that, but it's a tip. It's a trick that makes your lips look way fuller. You want to prepare the environment for your child, so that means you want to have, they have their own bedroom or they have their own space. Greg didn't have his own bedroom until he was like 18 months old, just because we didn't have the space, but he didn't need his own bedroom because I did the family bed. So you want to plan in advance. I had lots of mirrors. I had lots of stools. Greg still has a stool so that he can reach above the refrigerator and whatnot. You want to plan ahead, and prepared environment basically go hand in hand. By planning ahead, you'll be preparing your environment. So in Montessori, they have a term called the prepared environment, and you can research that and find out what materials benefit your child the most. If you do get a chance to check out Understanding the Human Being, they talk about how the first 9 months are crucial to the child's development as well. We don't know a lot about it, but we do know that they can hear us, they can feel us, they can feel our emotions, they're absorbing everything we eat and everything we do, so be mindful of everything you do. And then play music for them, talk to them, incorporate them into things that you're doing while they're in your stomach. Try and build that bond as quickly as possible. I recommend the floor bed with the mirror. I recommend a side coffee table, or like an end table, and you can cut the legs lower if you need to, but you want a table. It's called a weaning table in Montessori, and as soon as the child starts walking, they can sit in their own chair at that table. Even when they're crawling, you let them explore the table. You want to have a little practical life area in your home for your child. You want lots of soft, cushiony things for them to crawl on. There are mobiles that are red, black, and white because those are the first colors that the infant sees. So you want to look at the mobiles. They go in a progression based on the infant's development. And there's a certain distance too that they can see, how far away they can see. We have something in Montessori called the object permanence box, because at a certain age the infant begins to realize, like in peekaboo, that you're behind your hands. I can't tell you what age that is, but it's fairly early on, and of course it's on a case-by-case basis. And so we have this wooden box. Maria Montessori likes to use wood as often as possible instead of plastic. You take the ball and you drop the ball into a hole in the top of the box, and then there's a little ramp that comes out the side with a little archway. So the ball rolls out of the archway, and then the child can see that, and they love it. It's so cute. They get so excited because they're like, where'd the ball go? Oh, there's the ball. That's why they love peekaboo so much. Our next letter is L, and that stands for lessons. And so you want to do your research and see what kind of lessons you would give an infant, or what kind of lessons you could expose your child to before they're born, when they're in the womb. You can pour language all over them. That's that term, pour language over the child, that Maria Montessori uses. So you want to talk to them as much as possible, address them as soon as possible. They talk about all sorts of different music that helps with brain development, classical music, and there's so many different kinds of music, beautiful music that you can play for your child. And then your goal is to examine their surroundings and determine, I'm going to use them instead of his or her, it's just faster. Determine what you can put into the environment that will contribute to their growth and independence rather than hinder it. So look around their environment and think, does that hinder their environment? Are you hindering their environment by doing things for them that they may be able to do for themselves? I was watching Wim Hof, and I think he was being interviewed at the School of Greatness by Lewis Howes, and he said something about helping a child get too comfortable could be a form of child abuse, because the child needs to do for themselves. And we as human beings, that's a trick that I learned so you don't get lipstick on your face. I mean on your teeth. Look like that. With a finger. And I wipe it off. My hands are clean. I keep hand sanitizer in my car. And so, that's it. That's my whole face. I just do a lip gloss and mascara. Keep it very simple because I was raised as a tomboy, and maybe 3 or 4 times a year I go all out. But yeah, I like to keep it simple. So Wim Hof was being interviewed by Lewis Howes, and I can't remember if it was Lewis or Wim Hof. Wim Hof is the Iceman on Netflix, and he has amazing information on breathing and cold, impact of cold on your body and how it invigorates your nervous system. So a child who's too comfortable, or helping your child get too comfortable, is like a form of child abuse. And that's an extreme example, obviously, because they're trying to convey how detrimental it can be to be a helicopter parent and to micromanage your children and to constantly be looking for ways that you can do things for them. Because remember that term? Some of you might remember it. Fish for me and feed me for a day. Teach me how to fish and feed me for a lifetime. We're teachers. All of us are teachers. Some Montessorians don't like the fact that I'm showing you how to give lessons and that I'm sharing my information from my training with you. But we're all teachers, and we all have a responsibility to do the best we can with our children every day. And so I'm going to share it all with you. And I hope you guys really enjoy it, and I hope that you share it with your friends and family. And yeah. So speaking of enjoyment, That is the letter E, apple. I wish so much that I could go back in time and have my infants. All 3 of my children are growing up so fast. Greg is 11, Faith is 19, and Loriana just turned 25. And the infant stage goes by so fast, and it seems like it's dragging on because you're tired. You know, you're getting woken up all the time. We have these amazing hormones inside our bodies, though. They make us kind of like a superwoman. So even though you will be getting lack of sleep, your hormones are acting in such a way to give you a little bit more energy than you normally would not have. Our bodies are such amazing creatures. And so, anyhow, enjoy every single moment because it goes by so fast. And you look back and you're like, man, I wish I could do it over again. And just freeze it, right? make them that tiny, just a little bit longer, and take out all the stress and take out, I mean, stress is good for you. It's how you manage it, you know, but just, you know, when you're in the thick of it, it's really hard to stop and enjoy the moment. And we all have different things going on in our lives. I highly recommend planning ahead. I highly recommend meditation. I highly recommend staying home the first 3 years of life if you can. If you have the resources to be able to stay home the first 3 years of life, that's what you want to do. Maria Montessori did not do an infant program or a toddler program for a long time because she believed that the children at that age really need one-on-one. So anyhow, please feel free to ask a Montessorian. And I hope you like this little makeup tutorial that's very simple and fun. I did a lot of research on mascara to try and figure out how to get the lashes. Yeah, so you don't have like little tarantula legs. Anyhow, yeah, I hope you guys all have a great day, and thank you for joining me here.